and I can make mistakes.
What is happening between Tinubu and the IMF is like two people who plan something in secret. At the implementation stage, one is seeing that it is not working. They are concerned about their reputation, that if they advise anyone tomorrow or in the future to implement any of their policies, they will never agree to do it because they are seeing obviously that their policies are not working in Nigeria. On the other hand, the other person is too proud and arrogant to accept that what he's doing to Nigeria is killing the Nigerian economy. He doesn't want to be flexible at all. He's only deceitfully telling Nigerians that it will work out or materialize in the future. But no time is set. The other time they said a few years, now they are saying that they need beyond 2027 for the policies to materialize. So what we are seeing now is that the people who advised Tinubu on the policies implemented from day one when getting to office, they are openly disagreeing with him, trying to somehow absolve themselves from his failed policies, despite all of us knowing that they were the ones that advised him in the first place. A few days ago, the IMF openly disagreed with the Nigerian government, saying that the reforms are not working, that it needs tweaking. That's in contrast to what the Nigerian government is trying to make Nigerians to believe, that the policies and the reforms are working, only that Nigerians need more patience for it to materialize. And can you believe the tweaking they are suggesting? They are suggesting that the Nigerian government communicates the policies better to the Nigerian citizens. They are suggesting propaganda, so to speak, yes. And Tinubu having more than 12 media aides alone, they believe they can do the job. They believe that these aides will be able to convince Nigerians to have the required patience to wait it out till the reforms materialize or start to materialize. So in other words, they have seen that their reforms are causing massive hardship. They mentioned it in the report, by the way, and they are trying to use propaganda or the right communication, like they said it, to convince Nigerians to hold out. Despite accepting that there have been serious civil unrest because of the hardship brought about by the reforms, also protests of which people were arrested, including children charged for treason, they still believe that the Nigerian government can use propaganda or the right communication to continue holding Nigerians to believe that the reforms will materialize in the nearest future. You see, the whole thing is a mess, but we don't have to blame IMF much. They're only watching out for themselves. They're only making sure that Nigeria's economy never grows. They're only making sure that the loans they keep lending Nigerian government will be repaid. They're only interested in suppressing the Nigerian economy, a GDP that was approaching about $600 billion. Now it is less than $200 billion. So the people we need to blame are our leaders who accept whatever these financial institutions dish out to them hook, line and sinker without thinking. And watching the situation right now in Nigeria, it seems that Tinubu is the one insisting that the policies must continue. Yes, when IMF is openly disagreeing with him in the public, that means maybe they might have passed through the right channels to tell him, hey, see if you will reduce this one or remove this one first so that this one will start, you know, the whole works. And the worst part is that the central bank that is supposed to be independent to save Nigeria's economy from the executive branch, yes, they are part of the executive branch, but because they are independent, they are supposed to advise the executive, hey, don't do this and do this the same time, so that Nigeria's economy can at least have a little breathing space to grow. They are busy trying to stop inflation in Nigeria by increasing interest rate. How does it work? How in the world do they think that the kind of inflation that we have in Nigeria will be solved through monetary policies? It never works. The inflation we have in Nigeria can never be solved through monetary policies. They are aware that inflation went through the roof in Nigeria immediately petrol price was increased. Also, it nearly doubled after they floated the naira. So these are the two main issues that are driving high food prices in Nigeria, apart from insecurity anyway. So unless petrol price goes back to 200 naira per liter, that is what's being sold under Buhari's administration, inflation will always be high, even higher than it is today. It can never come down. Let anyone not deceive Nigerians. Let Nigerians not allow themselves to be deceived by anyone in government, all the media aides that were hired by the government to dish out propaganda to hold Nigerian people down. It will never come down. Increasing petrol to more than 1,000 naira per litre ensures that production will never be profitable in Nigeria. People cannot rely on the public utility because it's non-existent. Productivity needs to increase in Nigeria on a massive scale. They will flood the Nigerian market with products. They will compete among themselves to drive down prices until it becomes very affordable to Nigerians. That's how it works. So the main energy source that manufacturers rely on in Nigeria, they've priced it out of reach of many producers. This is the main problem. So if manufacturers can't rely on petrol or diesel, they've priced them out of their reach. The next energy source they can rely on is the public utility, which is NEPA. It's still not available despite the fact that they have increased the tariff. So where else can they look to except maybe trying to import? All the multinationals that left Nigerian market, their products are being imported to Nigeria now because they are no longer manufacturing in Nigeria simply because the environment is very hostile for them. It's too expensive to manufacture. And importing the products means that it is more expensive because customs duty has actually been increased. Yes, these are the problems. So one wonders, where will Nigerian people rely on to produce more? As the government is trying to make them to become more productive, they are only taking. They are not giving anything in return to encourage people to be more productive. You look here, it is blocked. You look here, it's blocked. There's nowhere you can look and say, there's a way out. Let's follow this road. Maybe something can come out of it. Increasing the price of petrol from around 185 naira on the morning of 29th May 2023 to about 1,100 or 200 naira depending on where you live in Nigeria today, which represents more than 500% increase without an equivalent increase in salaries or minimum wage, means that Tinubu is ensuring that Nigerian people become poorer and poorer and poorer. It doesn't make any sense. Without providing an alternative to petrol or diesel, increasing it by 500% means that no one can afford petrol anymore. Are they not concerned about this? People are parking their cars and selling them off. People are no longer moving the way they moved before. They are no longer traveling. They are no longer going anywhere. Look at Nigerian airports. Most terminals are empty today simply because people can no longer afford the high fees demanded by airlines or transport companies. Now, the main takeaway here is that IMF is very concerned that what is happening in Nigeria is seriously damaging their reputation. That's if they had them in the first place, except in African countries and other poor countries around the world. In Asia, no one looks at them, no one takes their advice because they know that their advice will never materialize. IMF policies are all about taxing people to death. People that are already poor, living in absolute poverty in a poor country, their solution to prosperity for these people is to tax them more. Where are they going to get the money from? People that need subsidy, they need their lives to be subsidized so that they can have a semblance of living, so that their earnings can be comparable to the middle class. By that time, the government can now start taxing them because they know they are already making more money. No, that's not IMF. IMF is all about taxing anyone. Despite the fact that in Western countries, they subsidize nearly everything to make life easy for their people. They know that the more people shop, the more the economy booms. Here, they are not interested in making people to shop. They are not interested in making people to continue being in motion, continue moving around, because if you drive your vehicle alone for 1 hour, you're already contributing seriously to the economy because you must buy petrol. Maybe you will fix your tire along the road. That's giving money to a vulcanizer along the road. Maybe you will buy one part in your vehicle. That's giving money to a parts seller. It goes on and on. But now everywhere is just standstill. People are not moving. People are not buying anything. They're only spending nearly 100% of their earnings on food alone. How does that work?
I've told everyone in this country that I can make mistakes. And I'm bound to hear them out and correct them. Perfection is that of God Almighty.